Okay, so here I am playing Warrior Knights, and I just started. Everybody selected their actions, and they put 2 cards from each of their action decks into each of the different 3 rounds, indicating how far into the turn they want these things to happen. The chairman takes the neutral action deck and deals 2 cards into each of these decks at this point. 2 cards left over, so most of them are spread out. Those decks are all going to get shuffled, and then we'll start drawing from them. One thing I noticed, I definitely made less clever choices on the first half of the board than I started making as I went around to the second half of the board, just by how I order things. We'll see how that turns out. I'm not too worried about it, but we're going to see some definite variation in what people picked, etc. People who were near an opponent felt more threatened and had to make choices that are more military in basis. I'll shuffle those cards and then we'll get started on that. Well, enough with rules explanations and trying to figure out how to do things. It's time to actually try doing them. Alright, so we're in an action phase, and what do? We flip a card up. We don't know quite what it is. Purple took a versatile strategy card. They picked these so that they can set up their sieges, and they're going to drop a siege here on Brennick. And they only get 1 siege. That was something I had to go back to. They can only activate 1 area per turn. Now this is a versatile card, so purple's going to get this back in their hand. That's one of the bonuses of that. Let's do another action. Purple gets another versatile action. They'll drop another siege. That may be an indication I didn't shuffle terribly well. And to the next one. Yellow gets wages. Place 1 of your Baron markers on the mercenary track for free. Yellow wanted some additional troops. They're going to put it on the 8.1 because that allows you to pick first. Yeah, and that seems like a good card. Now, this, I'm sorry, it's Draft Soldiers, goes into the wages box. And I think it actually should go face down because you don't know what the other players have. Okay, so let's do another one. Important event. The head of the church chooses a baron to resolve the top event. He must pay a faith to target himself with a green or another baron with a red. He got a red. He has no faith. You shouldn't have a faithless church. He's got a sick noble. One of his nobles, randomly chosen, is exhausted. Oh, speaking of which, now, I don't know where these go. I think they go at the bottom of the deck, but I'll have to look that up. But speaking of that, we have these nobles were exhausted as well. And now this is going to be hard for me to remember. There's a couple of issues with this game that are difficult due to components, etc. One is, both having to do with these cards relating to the pieces on the board. I'm going to push these guys over, because, frankly, telling which one relates to which is difficult. There's a symbol on here, but when they're standing up, I don't see that symbol well. And there's one of the design issues. I thought when I first looked and talked about the game, I said, wow, you know, they really got the design right this time. Nah, as soon as you start working with these 3-dimensional things, it becomes harder. Now, they made an attempt, but I'll tell you 2 issues. One, they're not terribly visible on the board, but worse, on the cards, I just don't see them. You start giving me these iconographs to indicate what something is, and I'm screwed. Okay, well, the important event, I think, is going to also get reshuffled, but I think that's going to get reshuffled before any cards go in there. Let's keep doing some of these actions. I'm not sure where this goes, but it doesn't matter much. Upgrade defenses. Each baron can spend up to 4 crowns in order to fortify, or can spend 4 crowns to fortify a city. Nobody owns a city, so that's not going to happen. Or repair a city at the cost of 2 crowns per breach. Nobody owns a city. Okay, on to another one. Draft soldiers. This is yellow again. They got another marker, if I can find the yellow player. And I'll take the next one too. And this goes into the wages pile. Draw another one. Draft soldiers, this time green took it. Gotta find the green player. And I'll take the next one. Draft soldiers, another green one. What are we at in there? I suppose I should leave these out so I can see. That's 4 of them. Only 8 more to go. So now, when we see the base card here, there's 2 per player. They gotta all be in there to trigger the event. Other things can show up in there, but that's the base of it. Okay, looks like blue did a mobilize forces. Now, to me, this was the mistake. This is one of the things that I learned as I went around the table. It's better to do what purple did, the versatile strategy. Blue's doing a mobilize forces, and they're triggering a siege, and they'll trigger it on this city. And that, because it's a combat action, goes in the assembly deck instead of the wages. If he had moved and fought, he could have chosen which one to put it into. Okay, we draw another one. Draft soldiers. This must be the black player, even though there's a red flag on it. The background's black, right? Yeah. I'll take one. Now we're up to 5 draft cards. Another, I guess, black draft soldiers. Okay, and we're almost at the point where a mercenary draft is going to get fired off. And we get one. Red gets a draft soldiers. They put their marker in. And now we've flooded this. 2, 4, 6, 7 of those. We've flooded that, which means we have a draft. And we've got to actually take care of that. If I can find it. I know I just discussed them. But... And it's not like I can hold this on my lap and look at it quickly. It again is one of these oversized rule books that just does not work as a good reference. And it's all textual, no numerics to help you find things, no easy references. Okay. Although I think there may be some kind of... There's a index back here, which if I get used to using would help. That'll at least give me a page number. Okay. So, who goes first? Yeah, the leftmost. Alright, so yellow is going to get 2 picks in a row. They're happy with that. They have $15. That's a lot of money. They're going to buy the 2 best mercenaries with their 2 picks. Swiss and Pauls. That costs them 7. So they get 3 change. And I think they have to immediately assign them, right? Must assign it to a noble located at a baron's city of soldier, or a noble that's currently off the board, or the baron's stronghold. Well, let me just throw these in the stronghold, because I believe new troops come on the board. Back here, a section that's early in the rules because it's late in the turn, right? Which is maybe the upkeep stage, right? Refresh nobles. No, return nobles to the board. Troops may be transferred between them, and nobles currently off the board may be brought into play. Oh, now we go to page 19 for that. At least I got a page number to get to. Returning nobles to the board. Yeah, so as long as they're with the stronghold, they have an effect on play. So that's where I want them for now, and when I can return nobles to the board, I can pull them out of there and put them with the nobles. So that was the wise choice. Sorry for the delay, but whenever you look for up rolls in this game, it's going to be a tough bit of a slog. So it's best to absolutely memorize the rules to the game, because otherwise you don't have an easily playable game in the same way that you would with many of the war games I'm used to. Okay, what were we doing? The mercenary chart. Okay, so yellow gets their markers back because they bought. Green's next. Green gets to buy. They've got 2 in a row, so it doesn't really matter. They will take... They're not using any special ability here, but they'll take 2 English. Get themselves $3. And again, place them with someone, their stronghold. Now, you might say, whoa, dude, why would you ever place them not with your stronghold in this condition? And the answer to that is you wouldn't, except if your stronghold's off the board, I think. There doesn't seem to be any advantage. Now, there may be something that allows you to bring a noble on the board that I'm not remembering, or during the play of the turn, but I can't think of such. Black has 2. They'll take some Lombards because they don't have big flags, and some Romanians, and that only cost them $2. Now, again, if we owned cities or were stacked with the stronghold, these could be brought, I believe, right with the forces, but nobody's in a position where they can strengthen themselves that way. So they're just putting them in the stronghold for now. And now, the last but not least, red gets to buy 1, and they'll take it for 1. They took the action for a reason, after all, so they might as well take advantage of it. These little coins. Okay, now, more happens here, and I'll explain once I get back to the rules where and what happens. The mercenary draft. So now that the mercenaries have been drafted, anything that was left would get shuffled back into the deck. Oh, red's counter is gone. And now I'm going to throw 7 more up on the board. I'm going to continue through this round, but I'm going to take a pause while I shuffle that deck. Actually, I don't have to shuffle it. Nothing new's been added to it. So let's just put out some more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, a mix of size. You know, getting first pick is important because you get bigger, better, whatever. Okay, and the next action is levy taxes by red. Red gets 1 for each area that contains one of their nobles, and this is going to go in the taxation slot. Okay, well, red's only got 1 noble, so he gets $1. It's hard to decide at this point what's more important: money, not influence, but whatever the hell it is, assembly power. I don't know what it's called anymore. It should be called influence because that's what it really applies to, but it's like votes. But it's not, is it? Yeah, I guess it is. It's votes. Or church, the faith. It's just hard to tell, but money, you know, I could tell what money's going to do for me. I look at the votes, and there isn't that much that looks important. Okay, and then finally, a lovely taxes by Blue. And that puts another marker here. Blue's got 2 pieces on the board. They get $2. Okay. That's the first time through. I don't think we need to go in this detail for the rest of the turn, so I'm gonna load this one up, and then I'll go through the other 2 decks a little bit less on camera.